Hi Hoovians, Shawn here. About to review episode 9 of season 8, Flatliners. As you can see, Kyle's not here, but he does have a special message for you.
Shawn, I've fallen into the TARDIS and I can't get up. You're going to have to review this one without me.
But don't worry Hoovians, I won't be doing it alone, because today we have a very special companion, Tim Sheridan, who has the title Professional Nerd. Tim, say hi to the peoples.
Hi to the peoples.
Alright guys, let's get this review started. I really liked this episode. I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed the special effects of it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. I like these new creatures. I like these two-dimensional little monsters.
They were great, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wasn't sure where we were going, and then when we finally saw them sort of take shape in the third dimension, I suddenly got what these guys were all about and saw them as a potential really cool classic villain in the Doctor Who canon, right?
Sure, and I enjoy that they didn't make them straight up evil to begin with. They left that little bit of doubt where it's like maybe they are just trying to learn from us, they're trying to communicate with us, and then at the end, we found like they had to be stopped. And I like villains like that. They don't start off just like basically evil. Like they gave us a little bit hint that maybe there was something more to it, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we still don't know, do we? Right? I mean, the Doctor kind of assumes that
he said they were monsters in the end.
Yeah.
And they did kill a whole bunch of people.
Right, it's true. I don't know. I don't really know how much I trust the Doctor anymore.
Now, there's a rumor going around the nerd sphere that you have a very interesting theory about this Doctor.
I started clocking something about a year ago, and every episode so far, I've just been making notes, and so far every episode has sort of proved it out. And
I haven't heard this theory, by the way. This is my first time. So I think anything might cut off for this one. Let's get ready.
I think that's a good idea.
Plus, it's
so
super
basically,
hot. Talk to me. What do we got?
I think that we've heard a lot of people talking about how they're very uncomfortable with the 12th Doctor, how they feel like he's just so different, and that they don't really. He just isn't the same as what we've been used to, particularly with David Tennant and with Matt Smith.
And Matt Smith was a very kind Doctor, very fun and goofy, and Capaldi's very much the opposite of the spectrum.
Yeah, so early on we got the press release that came out that said, Capaldi is the guy, and they said, his favorite Doctor, his Doctor was Pertwee, the third Doctor, who, had a little bit of a sort of a gruff streak to him.
He knew karate.
He
knew jiu-jitsu.
Knew Venusian.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu, wasn't it? Or judo?
Judo? Judo.
Fun fact about that Doctor, he actually was a spy. Like in real life, he actually was a spy and worked with spy gadgets before he became the Doctor.
So they say that the third Doctor is his favorite. That's his guy. Then they released the costume shot of him in the costume that Capaldi has chosen as
the magician outfit.
So they released this picture, and the first thing that came to my mind I said, well, wait a second, what is this outfit? There's something really specific about this that's got me kind of freaked out. So I started thinking about it, and then there really wasn't much to do about it, and then I started watching the show. From the beginning of this series, of this season, Clara has had a problem with the Doctor.
Yes.
And she's not. This is somebody who has. Who is
every face of every Doctor.
As close to him as one could be. Yeah, whether
she's met every Doctor.
Whether she has any residual memory of that, I think we don't see that. She doesn't know that she's had all of those encounters.
She mentions it.
Does she?
Yeah, she mentioned it.
It's kind of a little timey-wimey for me. I haven't.
It's a wibbly wobbly.
But so why is she just so completely uncomfortable with him? She actually met old Matt Smith as well, and that didn't freak her out. So they try to play it up like it's an age thing. The point is, she's not comfortable with this guy, and that makes me uncomfortable. And she's the companion. She's supposed to be our way in. Should I just tell you what I'm thinking?
Bring me to it.
Let me tell you what I'm thinking. I'm gonna get some visual aids.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we do that? I don't know if you know who this guy is. Folks might also remember this dude. This dude right here. These dudes.
Right, he knew who he was.
I submit that this Doctor is not the Doctor. I think he's the Master. Whether he is completely the Master or whether he is the Master inhabiting the 12th Doctor's body, that remains to be seen. Jack, I'll give you some supporting data here, some observations that I've made. But if we flash back to the time of the Doctor was in his 13th life at the end of his regeneration cycle. There was a crack in the universe.
Right.
They were able to get a message to Gallifrey, which was time locked in that pocket universe, and they were able to communicate with them. Clara asked for help. They bestowed through this crack upon him a new regeneration cycle, apparently. When we met this particular version, he was in his 13th life at the end of his regeneration cycle and became obsessed with getting a new regeneration cycle, with being alive again. And that became sort of the Master's course throughout the whole classic series.
And they did give him one.
Well, they gave him one later on. Like so he ended up possessing the body of a scientist. He took over that guy's body, and he became that was the Master.
He apparently took over Tony Stark.
Then in the 1996 movie, he also his consciousness, it was this little weird liquid snake thing, took over the body of Eric Roberts. In the Five Doctors special, the Time Lords had they're not really spoilers. Come on, it's been around for a long time.
Okay. You just go ahead and say it. I'm going to do this while you do it. Go ahead.
Great. In the Five Doctors, the Time Lords requested the help of the Master, and they offered him a new regeneration cycle. We know that regeneration cycles can be passed between Time Lords because we know. There we go. Because we know that River Song gave her regeneration
to Matt Smith after she poisoned him, right?
We know this is possible. We know that the Master's always wanted the Doctor's regeneration cycle. It's interesting to me that the regeneration cycle has always been something that is tied in with the Master and the Doctor. Here was the Doctor at the end of his regeneration cycle, like the Master when we met him before, and he requested these new regenerations. They got these new regenerations, and then we see him in Deep Breath. Now, in Deep Breath, the first episode, we had Vastra, who says, "There's a stranger in the room, in that bedroom." We are to believe that she's talking about Clara, but she has just had a telepathic link with the Doctor in which she put him to sleep. Then, later on, the Doctor acquires a hobo's coat. And when Clara asks, "How did you get that coat?" he says, "I bought it." She says, "No, you didn't. You don't have any money. What'd you do?" He says, "I traded my watch for it." And she says, "That was your favorite watch." It makes me wonder if there's a watch out there somewhere in Victorian London
that has the Doctor's real.
We all know that a fob watch or a watch, a timepiece, can contain the consciousness of a Time Lord. He also says at the end of that episode to the android, he says, or the cyborg, he says, one of us could be lying about our basic programming. Right. We don't know which one was lying about their basic programming. We don't know if he killed him or not. Then, of course, we meet the Mistress, which is, of course, the female version of saying Master. She's wearing all black with red lipstick, which is an interesting thing because black and red seems to be something that we see with the Master, right?
Yeah.
He wears a coat with a red lining.
Black.
Wait a minute, who else wears a coat with a red lining?
Satan.
Well, besides Satan, Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor.
Oh yeah, he does it too, guys.
All I know is that the mistress says, she refers to him as her boyfriend, which is interesting.
Right.
I don't know what that's about. Into the Dalek was the next episode,
yes.
Right? Where immediately in the beginning of the episode, the Doctor came across a shrink ray technology and became like a child, a school child, a giddy. Where have we seen this kind of technology before in Doctor Who? You see this guy right here, the first appearance, the Roger Delgado Master. This is his tissue compression eliminator, which was his primary weapon that he used, which did what?
It shrank things.
It shrunk people and things. That was always his primary weapon. That was always his thing. So that was an interesting parallel there in Into the Dalek. Okay, but then we get to the big one, Listen, where we immediately start talking about the concept of perfect hiding. The Master is called the Master, right? Because he was the master of disguise. He was always in disguise in every episode of the old classic series. If you were the master and you were looking to disguise yourself, right? What would be an ideal disguise? What would be a great disguise? Well, it would be
The Doctor.
maybe being the Doctor.
Or a red panda, because they're adorable.
They're adorable. Is there a disguise so perfect that even the person who is disguised doesn't realize that they are disguised?
Do you think Doctor Who is pulling and you might not have read this, but for other nerd factors, are they pulling a superior Spider-Man?
I've talked about this with people.
Where, for the last year, Dr. Octopus's brain was in Peter Parker's body and he was the superior Spider-Man.
You do know that Stephen Moffat is a huge Spider-Man fan.
And that he probably steals ideas, I believe that.
Who was that boy Time Lord that we met? Was that
Boy Time Lord? When?
Yeah, was that when Clara went back?
Oh, that was supposed to be the Doctor.
Was it? They never told you that. So why was that kid in bed crying so much? And he'll never make a Time Lord, right?
Because he didn't want to go to war.
He was crying.
He wanted to be a soldier.
Why was he crying? Because he didn't want to be a soldier? Is that what it was?
That was the reason they used that.
Or had he just looked into the untempered schism and was...
They gone crazy. Now he's hearing the drums.
All of that. He's starting to hear the drums. And then we get to the caretaker when the Doctor really starts talking a lot about hypnosis. Now, granted, the Doctor has used hypnosis in the classic series and that's the thing, but it was really something that the Master...
The Master used it a lot.
All the time. It was his thing. The Master is the one who hypnotizes people, who wears disguises, who wears black with red lining stuff. That is the Master. And all of a sudden, we're watching this guy who we don't like. And by the way, who Clara doesn't like. She doesn't like this guy.
She's starting to, I feel like.
She goes back and forth. We saw her in Mummy on the Orient Express saying, I can't reconcile these two sides of you. Sometimes you're this great guy, the Doctor, and sometimes I don't know who you are and you scare me.
And I know, look, time's wibbly wobbly, but we saw the Master supposedly die.
When?
With Tennant's last episode.
No, we didn't.
He was like...
We saw him go back to Gallifrey with Rassilon.
Is that what he did?
Yes.
I didn't remember.
He's on Gallifrey in the time lock with Rassilon.
Oh, I thought...
So when they're talking through that crack saying, hey, Time Lords, help out the Doctor, who got the message? Who is obsessed with regenerations and extending regeneration cycles? Who, if he was back on Gallifrey, would have the ability to send those regenerations through that crack in the universe and get them to the Doctor and maybe send a little something extra himself along the way?
I have to watch that last episode again.
I guess the end of time?
Yeah.
I guess you do. I think the Master is inhabiting the body of the Doctor, and I think the Doctor will eventually figure out a way, I hope, this is what I hope will happen, to split them.
So we bring the Master back?
So that Capaldi plays the Doctor and the Master. And I hope that the Master has the Scottish accent and the Doctor goes back to England.
I'm thinking that Moffat's going to be watching this. He's going to cancel the last 12 episodes and rewrite it to where this is what happens.
Where did everyone go? Hello? I'm out of power. I can't go anywhere.